Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to a daily update on my 1000 day challenge. This is day 217, so let's get things started. Alright, so first and foremost, you'll notice the balance remain the same, but actually there's been two losses that has been taken place, both the experimental trade set up for both Link and Ethereum, as there was a continuation of a drop. So it did have a stronger than expected bounce, so I didn't take profit on that. So I'll be updating the balance later and you only see it tomorrow. Otherwise, in terms of my main trading account, I'll also be closing another trade later after this video recording. And that's actually based on the Bitcoin, which I'll talk more about it later as well. All right, otherwise, in terms of that, the balance, I leave it the same, but there's actually been some decrease. So only update it later today itself. All right, otherwise, in terms of market structure-wise on the daily chart, you'll notice that the transition is still, or generally the traditional financial market still looks to be bearish in terms of the short-term wise, because we are forming lower highs and lower low. And ASHR, even though it transited to neutral, the bounce, like I mentioned, doesn't look strong in terms of price action wise on the individual candlestick. And fair enough, it continued towards the downside. And yeah, so tentatively, we have not found a clear support just yet across the board. So you can look in terms of the daily chart. We are breaking down below, so potentially we could find support only at here, which is at this 150 simple moving average on the daily chart itself. And for KWEB, we have nicely also broken below, so we could technically be finding some support around the $78 region as well. And likewise for S&P 500, we are hitting very close to here, so potentially we do fall and find some strong support at this 12K mark. I would be interested to add in as well in terms of long-term position. And similarly for S&P 500, I'm a little bit more aggressive. I wanted to break that and also hit the 150 simple moving average on the daily chart as well. Over here, I could consider getting a little bit, but I have sufficient position, so I'm a little bit more greedy in that sense and waiting and wanting to have a larger discount, but of course that risk of me not getting in at this price as well. All right, and finally in terms of Bitcoin wise, so technically you can see over here on the sorry, on the daily chart yesterday we did form somewhat like a bearish engulfing candlestick. So compared to yesterday itself, so it seems that this resistance level is taking into play on the 4-hour chart, which is at this mark. So this 51K region, even though we break above and close one time above, we was rejected right after, and then we were fiercely rejected thereafter. However, I do see potential sign of support, especially over here, the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart, which we were supported one time. So potentially we do find support on this second time, it will still be a good buy. But the reason why I actually closed this trade, like I mentioned, I was mentioning yesterday using a trailing stop loss of the 50 simple moving average on the 4-hour chart. So this candlestick was a closing. I'm closing it over here at the 47K region, and that's where I've closed. All right, so over here I take a little bit of a loss in terms of my entry position and my closing position. But over here I've also taken a little bit of profit, so it's sort of a break-even kind of trade. So I'll just delete this. And for this trade, it isn't valid because, like what I mentioned, price didn't break above, and even for this attempt, it was closed, but similarly it didn't. I was using this swing high as a point of entry if it does go above as well. Right, so for me right now, I'm looking for some sort of a clearer bullish market structure on the 4-hourly chart. So if it does find support over here and then bounce above, then I will consider entering a long setup because overall we're still forming a higher low and a higher low if it does bounce over here. But of course, do take into consideration this is a lower low if you're taking into this as a previous low as well. But yeah, overall, I would still say that I'm leaning towards the bullish side of things. But short-term wise, we could definitely see further downside. So do be cautious about it as well. And yeah, that's more or less about it. I've been closing this trade. I'll keep you guys updated. If there's a bullish market structure, then yes, I'll consider entering a long. Say, for example, somewhat like this. Yeah, so depending on where we go break below, if we do break below, otherwise it'll be somewhat like this. Yeah, somewhat like this. So you could form a double top if we do break above and form a nice bullish market structure. But of course, depending on the risk to reward, if it's lower than 1:1.5, I'll be very unlikely to take it based on price action as well. So yep, that's more or less about it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.